everyone is creative. But an Adobe study found that 50% of people do not consider themselves to be creative. If you are one of those people, we have good news for you. Leading cognitive creativity academic researchers, Ward, Finke, Smith, have found through their studies of creative people and experiments in creativity that everyone has the potential to generate creative ideas. They said, "We believe that creativity arises from ordinary mental processes that are part of the daily cognitive repertoire of normal people. The fundamental processes we need to be creative exist within all of us." They also found that creativity depends on how people think. Mental processes are the essence and the engine of creative endeavors. Idea generation is a thinking process of applying knowledge to find solutions. It's true that sometimes ideas just suddenly come to us, but most often, great solutions are the result of determined, focused thinking. Thomas Edison said it a bit differently. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. A genius is often merely a talented person who has done all of his or her homework. Creativity, then, is simply the ability to think of ideas, which is usually the result of focus and contemplation. You may be one of the 50% of people who thinks they are not creative. But everyone is creative because everyone has ideas. James W. Young, former Vice President, J. Walter Thompson, advertising company, and the first chairman of the Advertising Council, wrote an early book on creative problem solving called A Technique for Producing Ideas. He said, "The production of ideas is just as definite as a process of the production of Fords. It follows an operative technique which can be learned and controlled, and that its effective use is just as much a matter of practice in the technique as is the effective use of any tool." Alex Osborne also worked in the advertising business as BBDO Advertising Agency's Executive Vice President. He is considered by many to be the father of creative problem solving. In 1953, he wrote a book called Applied Imagination. He said, "We can produce more ideas by conscious creative effort." Another pillar of modern creative problem solving is Edward de Bono. He developed many techniques to help people be more creative, including the concept of lateral thinking, which many people now call out-of-the-box thinking. In 1992, he wrote a book called Serious Creativity and said, "I have deliberately included the word serious in the title to move forward from the crazy notions of creativity. I put forward deliberate and systematic techniques, and these are based on the behavior of human perception as a self-organizing pattern-making system." The first step is to understand your problem and opportunity and break it down into its elements so you can focus on each and generate specific ideas. Einstein said, "If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions." Why did Einstein say this? Well, because he knew that our minds want to rush to solutions in order to get the problem or opportunity off our to-do list. But a problem or opportunity that is not well understood is much more difficult to solve than one that is clearly defined and described. After you have defined the problem or opportunity and know you have a good focus for finding solutions, the next step is to describe it. An age-old way to describe problems and opportunities is to understand the details for who, what, why, when, where, and how. We also add in traits of the problems or opportunity, meaning what is it physically or emotionally like. If you are dealing with a problem, root causes are important to identify. What things are symptoms of your problem and what things are causing the problem? This way of describing a problem or opportunity gives a perspective on different aspects of a problem or opportunity that leads to different ideas and provides a way for teams to organize their thoughts and information. The more you define and describe a problem or opportunity, the more ideas will start coming to mind naturally. Make sure to record them as they come to mind. Once you have defined and described the problem or opportunity, take time to focus on each item you have listed and think of ideas for each of them. Back to our kid-friendly bathtub opportunity. Here is a list of who might be involved. You would focus on each item in that list and think of ideas. Here is an example of focus areas. Thinking about each of them will lead to different ideas. Sometimes the flow of ideas dries up and we need tools to help us overcome certain barriers to getting more ideas, thinking out of the box. One barrier to out-of-the-box thinking is that our minds tend to follow the path of least resistance. We all get locked into the way we perceive things and often don't work hard to force ourselves to think differently, to look at things from a different perspective. There is a reason for saying one-track mind. It's difficult to get our minds to change tracks or branch out and think of different possibilities. We also tend to rush to solutions. This is especially true of people living in the United States. We are used to getting what we want when we want it. Fast food, online shopping, delivery the same day, Instapots are all examples. Our cultural norm of wanting things quickly often gets in the way of thoughtful, thorough examination of a problem or opportunity, and we miss good ideas. We need tools that can help stimulate innovative thinking, get us off our one-track mindset, and unlock knowledge that is not top of mind. Highly creative people naturally stimulate idea generation by thinking outside the box, or as some say, lateral thinking or divergent thinking. We are going to teach you 3 tools that will help you think as creatively as anyone. Highly creative people have a strong sense of wonder and frequently ask, "Why is this like this? And how does this work?" They frequently say, "This problem or opportunity I'm facing is kind of like this." They find analogies. They seek principles about how or why things work that might apply to their problem or opportunity. They imagine and challenge the way things are by asking, "What if?" Let's take a look at each of these tools. Analogies, similar situations, are extremely powerful knowledge for idea generation. Analogies connect information and experience from something else to your problem or opportunity. We can find something similar by asking, "What else does this?" or "What else is like this?" Then apply the situation to our problem, which will help us generate creative ideas. Steve Jobs wanted to make the first Mac computers, have an interface that was friendly and elegant. He often spoke of how he connected his understanding of calligraphy to fonts on the Macintosh computer. Let's say we are trying to make bathtubs more fun for kids. To find analogies, we just ask who or what else makes things more fun. You will probably think of other things, but Muppets, bubbles, aquariums, and movies can all make things more fun for kids. Analogies stimulate out-of-the-box thinking. Now we can start to generate ideas by looking at our list. Muppets give us an idea of molding Muppet characters into the bathtub. Bubbles makes us think of a bubble machine that hooks up at the faucet. Aquariums gives us the idea that we could build part of the bathtub wall clear and put robotic fish in the walls. Movies makes us think about building in a screen and then controlling what is on by using a smartphone. Analogies tend to work best for the overall problem-opportunity question, needs, focus areas, and barriers. To find analogies, just look at your problem or opportunity and ask who or what else does something like this, or who or what else has overcome something like this. Another powerful tool for helping us think outside the box is principles. James Webb Young, a highly successful advertising executive and author of one of the first books on creativity, said, "What is most valuable to know is not where to look for a particular idea, but how to grasp the principles which are the source of all ideas." Principles are general rules, or how or why things work that can be applied to different opportunities and problems. You can find principles that apply to almost every kind of problem or opportunity, and use them to generate ideas. Here is an example. Let's say our problem is, how can we make a better garbage bag? If we applied the principle, a stretchable container will resist punctures and rips. We might have invented Glad ForceFlex bags. Analogies and principles are both forms of knowledge. The more knowledge you have or can search for, the more innovative ideas you can generate. Another powerful tool for helping us think outside the box is what-if questions. What-if questions are intended to put reality on hold, so if someone asks you, "What if?" don't respond with reasons why it won't work, instead pause and imagine with them. Asking what if opens our minds to new possibilities, changes our one-track mind to access more knowledge, puts reality on hold for a moment and signals this to others so they can imagine with you, provokes out-of-the-box thinking. Asking what if can lead directly to ideas. For example, asking what if bathtubs had fish in the walls might lead you to the idea of a bathtub aquarium. Asking what if can also provoke additional thoughts and open up your memory to other knowledge. For example, we could ask, what if bathtubs could talk? What would they say? This might cause us to think of ideas like maybe they would sing soothing music to kids, or maybe they would tell jokes. Asking what if might lead to similar situations, analogies, then to ideas. We might ask, what if bathtubs entertained kids? What else entertains kids? Built-in DVD players in minivans. This might lead us to an idea: include a screen in the wall of the bathtub with a video feed from a smartphone. To generate ideas using the What If tool, use it on everything in your definition and description lists. Look at the list you have created in each of the areas of definition and description and start asking, what if? Speculate and provoke out-of-the-box thinking. Some of the definition and description areas may produce a lot of ideas, some few or none. It really depends on the specific problem or opportunity. That's okay. Asking what if is a way to explore and open our minds. If we explore enough, we will find great ideas. It is very easy to kill innovative thinking by responding the wrong way to someone's idea or self-judging your idea. Because ideas are driven by internal motivation, it is very easy to shut down the desire to generate ideas, and once shut down, it's very difficult to revive. One of the dangers in judging ideas too early is that one idea might lead to another. If we judge an idea, we might lose a valuable stepping stone to a great idea. Ideas are highly personal, and if they are rejected in the wrong way, the person will feel rejected and not be open to generating more ideas. There are certain phrases that are certain to kill people's desire to be creative. We call them banned phrases. Banned phrases are those that shut off the flow of ideas. Even if you are generating ideas on your own, don't let these phrases creep into your thinking. Here is a short list of creative idea killers we have heard while leading idea generation sessions. That won't work. What a stupid idea. Are you kidding me? We've tried that before. That is not feasible. We have too many ideas. Management won't like it. Are you dumb or dumber? That is not very original. No one would want that. I have a better idea. Ideas are not your job. Remember, when reacting to ideas, if you oppose them for the wrong reason, you might just end up like the following three people. U.S. President Rutherford B. Hayes, after participating in a trial telephone conversation between Washington and Philadelphia in 1876, said, "The phone's an amazing intervention, but who would ever want to use one of them?" Darryl Zanuck, head of 20th Century Fox, said in 1946, "Television won't be able to hold on to any market it captures after the first 6 months. People will soon get tired of staring into a box every night." Thomas Watson Sr., chairman of IBM, said, "I think there is a world market for about 5 computers." Many ideas won't work, and some may seem to be totally unreasonable or fanciful. During the idea generation stage, unworkable and unrealistic ideas are good to have because they often trigger other ideas that might be extremely beneficial. During the idea generation stage, it is critically important that ideas just be gathered and recorded, not judged or evaluated. So during that stage, no banned phrases or judgment should be used. Instead, try building on the idea or say, "That is an interesting idea, tell me more about it." Or offer positive alternatives by asking, "What if?"
Creativity is really a very unique aspect of expressing, what the theologians would call imago Dei, or made in the image of God. God is the ultimate creator. So he is the source of all creativity. He created the heaven, the earth, the moon, and the stars. And so when you are creating, you're actually reflecting his glory. You're reflecting back the awesomeness that he has instilled upon you. Ephesians 2 tells us that we're God's workmanship, created for the things that he's pre-planned. And so when I create, I know that in some senses I'm walking in God's footsteps. And then the other beauty of creating is, obviously God creates something out of nothing. So he can take nothing and make something. We use the raw materials that God has created to make things as well, following his example. But one cool thing that we get to do that no other creature on the planet can do is that we get to add value to things by creating them. So we can take ore and metal and then shape it and mold it, and then we add value to it in the same way God took dirt and added value to it by breathing life into it. So I think that's something really special that I don't want to take for granted, is that, man, when people hear a song that I've made and they see it as valuable enough to want to purchase it, then I've followed in the footsteps of God, because I've just taken sounds and thoughts and added value to them. And that is a beautiful aspect of being a creative.